9 o'clock. Let's kickstart then. And we're having a 1 hour interesting discussion about. Click back to Anton, that one. That's perfect. We are having an interesting 1 hour about Web3, digitalization, etc. And I have the honor to introduce this and host this event. And you see now the agenda, and this event will also be recorded. So we will also publish this afterwards on our YouTube channel. So this, not just the participants today will be able to listen into this, but also afterwards you can also listen and look at this interesting event. My name is Mats Skölam. I'm the chairman for Hong Kong Chamber of Commerce in Sweden, and we are an organization, non-political, non-profit association here in Sweden, trying to promote business between Hong Kong and Sweden. And so I'm a chairperson for that. The picture there you see was from our Chinese New Year earlier this year, when it was 180 people in Grand Hotel in Stockholm. It was very successful, and we try to arrange this kind of events to try to promote business between Hong Kong and Sweden. Anton is doing the technical stuff. If you go back to the agenda slide, that's perfect then. I'm just doing the introduction here. I will show the agenda. Mats, same name as me, Brodén, he's co-founder of Nordic Powerhouse Play Safe Ecosystem. He's actually initiating this event, so he's done all the work and has all the knowledge about Web3, etc. And he's also have all the contacts in regards of the speakers today. So all the credits to him doing this. Then we're having talking Pauline from Invest Hong Kong. She's vice president of FinTech Invest Hong Kong. She's talking about the Web3 initiatives, and it's an honor for me to also have her, because I'm not just the chairman for Hong Kong Chamber of Commerce in Sweden, but I'm also since 21 years worked with Invest Hong Kong. So I'm the Nordic rep for Invest Hong Kong. So it's nice to have Invest Hong Kong people there. And then after that, we're having a really interesting presentation from 5 different persons from 4 different companies about different Web3 data sharing, documentation, and after that there will be a Q&A. I will just jump in 1 minute before 10 o'clock to just close it down. But now I have the honor to give the word to Mats Brodén. Please take over here now. Thank you so much, Mats.
I will just change. Do you see my screen now, or?
We see your screen, and it's not in the slideshow mode. Okay, if you start play there, and then.
All right. Okay.
That's perfect.
All right. First of all, thanks Hong Kong Chamber of Commerce in Sweden for hosting this event. I just want to say some word about Nordic Powerhouse. This whole event is part of a series that we call Get the Board on Board. We introduce what we call Web3 to companies. Nordic Powerhouse is a non-profit platform, and well, the first question then, of course, for some of the audience is what is Web3, and Web3 is kind of capturing things like blockchain, token economics, smart contracts, and all these things. So it's kind of reference word for you are entering this space in a way. So basically what we're trying to do with this is we need to bridge the gap between established companies and entities with initiatives operating with the Web3 technologies. So in our ecosystem, we call this sometimes get Web3 ready. So we try to support companies with this. So what we are trying to do here is that support companies in not thinking in data silos, but thinking more like horizontal. How do you get access to data horizontally? But these things are quite challenging for companies to implement, and because sometimes you even need a kind of new organizational model and governance model in the companies, and so it's a discovery journey for them, which is quite challenging. My personal discovery journey into this started with the need to find a smarter collaborative model between industry and science, a kind of more dynamic, scalable, contractual structure. What we now call a blockchain Web3 is, for me, really revolutionary, and we don't really, at this point, we don't know what it can do. And here I have two statements that I think is key in this area, and that is collaboration is a recipe for success. And what I think these technology can do, that they can enable abundance of low-cost transaction, and that I taken from American professor in law Richard Epstein, Simple Rules for a Complex World. And I think that the Web3 with tokenization makes that possible. And this can be debated, of course. Here I just listed some of the questions that we get when we interact with companies and also public entities. There's a lot of questions, and we can't cover them all. So I will focus on these things today. I mean, why do we share data in the first place? What is Web3 bringing to the table? Why should we use distributed ledger tech? And a friend of mine who is now present is saying, I don't care about the machine. What is the outcome for me? So I just want to say one more thing, and that is when I'm working in my daily work, I've noticed an openness in companies when it comes to these technology, when we are working with data sharing in supply and value chains, especially when it relates to climate impact accounting. Everyone understands that you can't work in a silo if you want to capture the climate impact of a product. They all understand this. So we are in dialogue with some big players about what we could call climate impact data cooperatives, that you're creating kind of new, sometimes in Europe we call it data spaces. But this is basically about trust when capturing negative and positive externalities. So we will first get an introduction for Pauline Pham about the Web3 community or Web3 scenery in Hong Kong, I hope, but there are other things as well, Pauline, that you will present. And then we will get an introduction from I just go through, Pauline, I will go through the presentations and I come back to you. Now we'll see if I find a...
You need to show your slides again, yeah.
All right. Okay, now I got a little bit confused here. I'm not used to... Okay, but I can talk about this. Just a second. It disappeared.
Now we see your background there.
Okay.
Just click on.
Okay. I just
do it verbally then. Yeah.
Okay, so we have 3 companies here present today. It's Sheridan from Ocean Protocol that will do a presentation, and then we have Darwin from Eccentric, Mercedes-Benz, doing presentation about their work, and we will end with Hedera, Hashgraph/Association. And after Hedera, we will have Lars Montelius presenting a kind of use case relating to advanced material. Lars is the former head general director of the International Nano Laboratory, but he also took the initiative for a big EU project that is called Advanced Materials. So now, Pauline, you can share the screen.
We see your screen there, Pauline. Just unmute. You need to unmute you.
Hello?
Yes, we hear
Yes.
you, and we see
Yes,
your
yes.
screen. Perfect.
Hey, I'm so sorry about messing up messing up other people's PPT. Actually, I've been presenting this slide on the Web3 Festival. This year, Web3 Festival in Hong Kong, we got inbounding protocols from all the major crypto participants. I think by now Hong Kong has got attention, top line attention from the Web3 space. I'll try to be structural so that for this group, I think what's more relevant is number 3 and number 2. I think number 2 and number 3, digital assets, tokenized securities, and tokenized real assets. Virtual asset itself, for lack of a better term, coins, as I think it's not the focus of the topic today, but I'll just quickly go through it for the sake of completeness. So we care about Web3 in Hong Kong for 3 reasons. Number 1, for virtual assets, namely the crypto native industry, we want to stay close. Number 1, because virtual assets, especially Bitcoin, is becoming a inevitable assets class in the finance industry. So there's a business and asset management part of it that links onshore, and we're going to regulate and have part of that from the traditional interest. So that's very honestly the business reason why we want to care. And more importantly, we want to stay close because we want to watch closely the technological leadership from crypto native people, because that's where the decentralized spirit plus technology plus all these debates in encryption, rollups, different school of thoughts, different camps that could potentially one day lead old banks, the siloed old banks wake up to a either local or more international alliances. I think that's what these green projects that you guys over there are trying to do. So the second aspect of the things is digital assets and tokenized securities. So that's different from virtual assets, given that it's a clear definition from Hong Kong SFC. Hong Kong SFC that virtual assets being the coins and digital assets being everything else that's not crypto native but digitized. That would include the green initiative, the green projects, the bonds, the traditional bonds, the green bonds, the securities in other more innovative formats such as private debt, or even Bitcoin mining machines, linked securities. All the securities tokenized could in the future be traded on regulated platforms in Hong Kong onshore, and that will be defined as digital assets and tokenized securities. Obviously, that's different from virtual assets. And in the third category, we have tokenized real world assets, being things that's not securities, that's not a bond, it's not a fund, it's not a investment bank fee business, but rather it's a I don't know, open-ended, like a database of data, the green carbon certificate, or anything really that people want to put on chain and assign value to it in a consensus. And hopefully, somebody like an insurance company would pay for these assets and give it a price, and the market will look for a price in the future on the tokenized exchange. So that's really the framework how we look at it. Shoot in questions, but I won't bore everybody with the virtual assets trading platform regulations and where it stands. The purpose really is to have a full ecosystem where onshore investors will be, number one, protected, number two, have the necessary tools to invest in the bigger type of virtual assets that they want. You could just simply put an analogy of Bitcoin. If everybody wants some form of Bitcoin investment, the old banks, the old security firms should be able to participate in this business by providing custodian, by providing an ETF, by providing a form of products that their customers are used to, and by simply having one more category of VA/BTC, right? In the very long term, that would be the main one coin over there. So the purpose is really to have a full ecosystem onshore, and give access while protecting especially the retail customers onshore. The second category where we are more focused on today is digitalized tokenized securities, digital assets. I would like to say that for me in my previous life as a banker, I personally feel the bigger opportunity here would be on the fixed income side, tokenized either loans or private loans, different form of debt, project financing, mezzanine debt, anything that's like more debt in nature. Green bonds, green certain ESG mandate, green project financing. I'm personally mobilizing traditional bankers this year to be more innovative about the type of assets they will be able to tokenize. It's all coming together because traditional bankers, they will have origination experience as well as access to investors, where they will quickly see, okay, there's a type of assets that could come in bulk and come in volume, and that would touch a chord in the investor, certain group of investors' hearts. And everybody in the end is looking for certain mandates, either being green or looking for growth or to finance growth or emerging market debt projects. So to be very honest, at this moment, we see proof of concept project by project that's usually led by tokenization platform, who usually are technological background people, right? So then they focus more on the system itself. They focus more on the transaction side of things. But even that, we don't clear necessarily everything on chain, because the ecosystem is just coming together. We don't yet have a good Hong Kong dollar nominated stablecoin system, which is coming together early Q1 or Q2 this year. We're going through a consultation process. So this is a time where it's quite exciting, because the infrastructure of things are coming together. Let me see if I can have another. Actually, maybe this is a better slides. Yeah, this is a better slides. Everybody can see. Do you see this slide? A new slide? You don't?
Basically, digital assets and tokenized securities. That's what I see.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on a sec. Okay, I see. I'll show this. Do you see a new slide?
It's SDO potential underage.
Okay, hold on. Okay, something's wrong. Anyhow, I'll share with you another slides after. The point is really, I think tokenization of securities is still underrated, because not all the bankers are mobilized, realizing that this is a new way of financing for innovative projects, for green project. I think even the government is realizing faster, or is leading the thinking than the private sector, funnily, in this case, because as you can see, Hong Kong government and directed MA to MA issued 6 or 7 tranches of green bonds already, using different infrastructure. They tried with Goldman's infrastructure, and then they move on with HSBC, I believe, with Ant Finance helping the infrastructure. They tried different infrastructure. They were trying to close with. They haven't cleared on chain yet. It was still CMU clearing, but I wouldn't be surprised if they move on to try to clear on chain also in the coming month or quarters. So the government is making, number one, consensus participants, number 2, user cases, number 3, we're getting ready with either CBDC or stablecoin to have the infrastructure basic entry layer of capital into tokenization world. That's why I feel it's a good time. It's quite timely that we got in contact with the Nordic community of you guys. That I do hope we could invite your project to be roadshowed here in the efforts. Our group is motivating the bankers and asset side as well as tokenization side to come together. If we could on a real-time basis be updated about your projects, you could be at the forefront of what could potentially be financed, be distributed, or even be cleared along way this year, and you'll be at the front row because we're just putting this together, and your assets innovation together with our base layer infrastructure progress will hopefully put our projects and results at the front, at the very front of the world's tokenization efforts in terms of innovation, the quality, and technologically advancement. All right, I think I'll pause here.
Thank you very much, Pauline. I know you are doing a project tokenizing things in the shipping business.
Actually, I wouldn't. Yes, exactly. So, but I wouldn't say the shipping is the end of the story, or the shipping is the main page of the story. I find it interesting. Okay, I think a few projects that the Nordic community should pay attention to. Number one is the government is pushing 6 tranches of green debts and green bonds, right? And in Hong Kong green project, Hong Kong green bonds. So that's the first headline liner that you guys should note, that Hong Kong is really pro-green, and we are to the best of our ability exploring the green standard. And secondly, I personally have welcomed one of the major Bitcoin miner into Hong Kong, and they are exploring green way of like a smart storage of either capacity or electricity, or it really be just come in and bring the miners, bring the machine in, and try to be innovative. I've heard interesting things such as cooling the machine with the seawater, or smart gridding, saving it into either capacity or into coin, or either lend it to AI training. It's really open-ended and fascinating. So it doesn't really stop with the bill of landing with the shipment, but that's certainly also one area.
All right,
I'll really push here.
All right, so thank you very much, Pauline. I would like to give the word to Sheridan now to present the Ocean Protocol. I think I'm thinking of a question here, Sheridan. I don't know if you want to answer it or not, but how do you see the interplay between artificial intelligence, data, and token in the future? Because I find that a fascinating area. I don't know if you relate to that, but it's a question that I came up with now when I was listening.
Sure. No, absolutely. Maybe I can kind of cover some of that here with my presentation. Hopefully you guys can hear me.
Yes.
And of course, definitely an interesting, and that's really kind of I would say one of the inspirations of Ocean, Ocean Protocol really was kind of conceived to empower the open data economy. Our team has a background in AI, actually, and also in emerging technology and blockchain as well, obviously, but the co-founders had spent many years before founding Ocean in artificial intelligence, so they certainly that's in their DNA, and they kind of saw the blockchain technology emerging and became very excited about it with respect to data. And obviously data with respect to AI, as I'll get to in a moment, is a very important aspect. So here, just quickly, Ocean empowering an open data economy and establishing data as an asset class. I'll be going into two parts today, the presentation I prepared for you guys. Part one is about Ocean Protocol as such, let's say some terms with respect to DLT, digital ledger technology, and blockchain, and the value of data, trust, decentralization, and more about Ocean Protocol and the features that we have. And then part two, I'll go into a new initiative that we're working on, which is Ocean Enterprise. You mentioned some questions, and I'll also share with before the session today. This is kind of what I got from you. Those that are highlighted here will be hopefully ones that I can touch on with my presentation. So through this presentation, I hope to answer some of those questions initially, and obviously afterwards we can go into them a little deeper. I'd like to start with the value data, and by quoting Kai-Fu Lee. I'd imagine most of you have come across him at some point. Basically, the takeaway here is that in this new age of artificial intelligence and the age of data, to be able to succeed, there are various elements. Obviously, technical talent, computing power, and data are central to that. And of those three, it is clear.
Did we lose?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think so. Sorry, yeah. Oh, he's back.
Am I back? Am I off?
You're on again.
We hear you.
But we need to share the screen.
Okay, something.
Keep talking.
Now, can you see my screen? Oh, okay. Sorry. Can you see my screen?
No. But we see you and hear.
Now? Do you see my screen?
Nope.
No, not yet.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me see if I can get that back. You saw it before, though, correct?
Yeah, we saw it before.
Yeah.
But we hear you, so you can just continue.
Okay. All right. Okay.
No, it's starting again.
Hopefully you.
Now we see it. Now we see it.
All right. Hopefully you can see this now.
We see it now.
Great. Great. Good. Okay. So obviously the data, the value of data is understood. The value of trust cannot be underestimated, and I think that's what's keeping a lot of the value and sharing of value underutilized. We don't feel comfortable sharing our data. We don't know the true value of our data. That goes for individuals as well as businesses. Businesses aren't comfortable because they are sharing because they feel as if that's giving up competitive advantage. Individuals aren't comfortable sharing because they feel that there's some privacy violation. And of course, with respect to value of that trust, also links into the value of that data that's being shared or not shared. In comes blockchain. I think that we're mostly here in this round fairly familiar with the advantages that blockchain offers with respect to unlocking some potential in data. It's reshaping the relationship of anything of value or digital. It allows for better control and accountability, as well as trust, particularly in the AI-driven future, that it's not all centralized, and that individual organizations and people themselves have control of their data. And all of this really, Ocean has tried to bring together. So Ocean is not a blockchain. We are EVM compatible, as well as other blockchain deployments as well. So we're blockchain agnostic, but just to focus, we are not a blockchain. It is a tokenized ecosystem. However, it is not a blockchain in and of itself. It's more of a level 2. And here, this is what we are trying to enable. So more data sovereignty, more data sharing, and obviously data monetization. In itself, technology is free, open source, interoperable, as I mentioned, decentralized, privacy preserving, which I'll get to in a little bit, as well as enables assets to be monetized, both data as well as other digital assets and services. And it's also very scalable due to the nature of blockchain, etc. I will happily share these slides later. We have 90 repositories. We also have extensive documentation for onboarding, which we've assembled over the past 4 to 5 years since we initially launched. I'll give you a little bit of the roadmap later on. Who are the stakeholders here? Anywhere from individuals are able to use ocean technology up to entrepreneurs, enterprise, service providers, curators. Individuals can publish and sell their own data. Publish owners can, or business owners can set up new data marketplaces and monetize data, either their own or third party. Service providers can offer support for setting up ocean powered environments. Entrepreneurs can also use ocean to build tools or provide proprietary tools that help build the data ecosystem. And last but not least, there definitely are staking opportunities with the token within the environment as well. To get a little bit into the key aspects of Ocean, data NFTs, data tokens, very much blockchain focused. These basically enable IP ownership as well as access control in a very short summary. But I'd also like to go into the compute to data, which is basically a privacy preserving technology, which allows data to be shared without showing the data. So the compute to data is privacy first. The idea here is you have an algorithm owner, and they'd like to train on some data owner's data set. They request access to that data set. The data owner can either can verify and grant access or not. And then that data owner, through compute to data, allows the algorithm owner to access that data. However, does not need to give the data to the algorithm owner in order for that algorithm owner to train on that data. And then only the results are carried back to the algorithm owner. So in that way, the data remains on premise or where it's located, and privacy is preserved through this compute to data. Again, this doesn't necessarily involve the blockchain, but I think it's very important to highlight with respect to what Ocean enables also within this tokenized environment. So obviously all of these access, control, and ownership, that's where the blockchain comes in, but not necessarily within this compute to data technology. This is, let's say, maybe a more full picture of the various features: IP ownership, IP management, access licenses, payment routing, analytics, whitelists, and timeouts. Again, for the sake of time, I won't go into the detail of all of them, but suffice it to say there are a wide range of features that Ocean has out of the box. In all of this, Ocean is taking strides to move towards establishing data as an asset. So Ocean is using all of this technology to establish trust and transparency, so businesses can create value, new products, innovations, and even new markets, and individuals have more control, can monetize their data, as well as participate in value capture. One use case of Ocean is Pontus X. It's decentralized data and data service ecosystem, which involves various industry players who are all using, which is by data delta to share data and collaborate with stakeholders, internal as well as external. So this is just a featured case, more towards industry and enterprise. We also have others that may be more crypto native with respect to grants and some challenges and products that we also developed over time. And here's kind of a roadmap so you can see where we've come. So we've gone publishing open data sets, V1, V2, implementing computed data so you can publish private data and digital assets and allow for access control, as well as flexible IP management and introduction NFTs. In 2024, I'll get into that in the next part. We have various initiatives, computed advancement, Ocean Predictor Advanced, as well as Ocean Enterprise, which I think I'll spend the second part of the presentation on. I don't know how we're doing for time. You let me know, Mats,
I think
what you think.
I feel sorry, Sharon.
Quick version or short
we go
version?
into depth here, but I think we have to leave the word to Darwin here. But I know that you are working together, Ocean Protocol and Eccentric are working together. But I think I'm getting
Okay.
But I just want to say one thing.
Maybe I'll Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say some personally here. I think your community. I've participated in your DAO, and I think that it is a fantastic network of skillful and entrepreneurial people in your community.
Thank you very much. Kind words. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'll leave the rest then to Darwin to explain. Obviously, also a community member, and if you want to know more about Ocean Enterprise, I can share these slides and you can go over it individually later. But basically, we are taking strides to establish a collectively governed, compliant, and stable version of Ocean, which will be enterprise friendly out of the box. And that's scheduled for release at the end of this year.
I hope we can have a separate.
So much for me.
I think we can have I hope we can have a separate presentation for this at some point.
Yeah, sorry about not having enough time for it. I should have planned it accordingly, but I wanted to cover all the concepts as well. So back to you. I will stop sharing and.
Okay, Darwin, over to you.
All right, let me share my screen. All right. Okay. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, thank you, Matt and Sheridan. So Sheridan mentioned, like, this product Eccentric, which is a strategic product of Mercedes, and it's actually an extract from an Ocean Protocol stack. So yeah, so let me go into my topic, from data source to extraction of the full value of data, empowering enterprises in the decentralized way. Such a long title, but this is a short presentation, so please bear with me. Yeah, again, my name is Darwin Jackson. I'm the business engagement lead for Mercedes-Benz Singapore, and I'm here to share with you basically what we are currently working on inside Mercedes-Benz when it comes to data ecosystem, Web3. And Matt, thank you for and guys, thank you for the opportunity to present to you the strategic product of Mercedes-Benz, which is the enterprise-grade data exchange platform solution. All right, so let's dig in. Yeah, so data is the new business asset for enterprises. I just want to ask you, do you believe in this statement? So for us, basically, most of the organization believe in this statement. So this is the reason why a lot of organizations are really doing their data discoveries and cataloging their data and building their actual data ecosystem. So what you can see here is not a typical diagram of a data value chain. This is the new era of data sharing in Web3, basically. So we combine the traditional data management with decentralization and enhancement of data privacy. So, but in this presentation, we choose to basically focus on data sharing, getting value out of data, monetizing data, because in this way we can get to unlock more value out of enterprise data. Okay, in Mercedes-Benz, basically as a big corporate, we give a lot of emphasis on data. And basically, a few years ago, the topic of data sharing, data exchanges, data monetization, together with blockchain, has been raised, and how to solve the consideration phase in data sharing is the one that we really look into. So one issues that we have faced is like the data are in silos, meaning like connecting to the data that are in silos, internal to the company or external to the company, is really a challenge. Sometimes data that are in silos are undiscoverable. So those data that are undiscoverable is only good for its primary value. What I mean by undiscoverable is that people who own the data knows that they have the data, but other people don't know about those data. So the value of those data is only good for its primary value. There's no secondary value if the data is not discovered. Number two is the upholding of data privacy or the concern for data privacy and sovereignty. So, as a data owner, you would want to keep control of your data while having the ability uh, to share your data, right? So, data owners wouldn't want to lose control of their data to the third party. So, in the traditional way, right, if you going to share your data, you have to upload the data into a central location to the third party. Where in that way, you will lose control over your data. And then lastly is the lack of data monetization opportunities. So we know that data can be monetized, and that's a fact. And it can be a new revenue stream for the company. But how can we do it in the most efficient and secured way? So let's move on to the solution. So to solve these issues, those issues that I have mentioned, so we started this initiative in Mercedes-Benz to build the state-of-the-art award-winning data exchange platform, which we call Accentric. So yeah, in the decentralized infrastructure, we use decentralized infrastructure in Accentric. So we solve those issues in siloed data by connecting the data directly, by connecting directly to the data without the need for the data to be uploaded in the central infrastructure. So the data will really remain on its original source. So the owner will retain the full control of the data. So if you look into the diagram on the right, the platform only connects to the data via edge computing node, which is located in the data owner's premise, right? And then on the privacy preserving, this is as we mentioned, this is what we call compute to data in Ocean Protocol, but we call it privacy preserving compute. This is something that sets us apart from other data sharing platforms because we allow algorithm to run on the data without moving the data out of data owner's premise. So again, from the diagram, you can see that we do it via edge computing node, wherein computation happens on the edge computing node in the data owner's premise. And then lastly is the reduced barrier to data monetization. So we use blockchain technology, Web3. So wherein, if you say tokenization, it enables direct, secure wallet-to-wallet transaction and full control of assets. Now, when we look into this diagram, you'll see that there is a conventional way of data computation, and then the new way of data computation. Like in the conventional way of data computation, the data is being transferred to the consumer's environment. So it means like the data will be downloaded to the consumer environment, leaving your data exposed to the consumer because you have uploaded the data. You allow the consumer to download your data and then run the computation on its own. So it can also breach basically the privacy laws if we do that. Now, in a centric way of data computation, what you call the new compute to data, the data stays within the owner's environment for computation. So the consumer will only get the result of the computation. The data owner retains the full control of their data. So to sum this all up, basically, Accentric is a connector and an orchestrator. So it connects to your data via edge computing node at the data owner's premise or environment and orchestrates data exchanges via downloading the data assets or running computations on the data. Okay, so now let's move on to the blockchain, basically. So blockchain basically offers advantages that are unparalleled in the industry. So the key takeaway here basically is that our blockchain platform revolutionizes data management with unmatched advantages in the industry. If you think like tokenization, like NFTs, it is a digital proof of ownership for your data assets. So the ERC-721 we're using for the proof of ownership of your data asset. Next is that every transaction is immutably recorded in the blockchain. So that means enhanced transparency and security for every data exchange that will occur in the platform. So what about the control? So our platform empowers you with robust data governance and all managed seamlessly through your wallet, keeping you in the driver's seat. So it means like, for financial backbone, we use blockchain, wallet-to-wallet transaction. Your NFT's ERC-721 is also within the owner's wallet. So full data access and control are enabled via Web3 or blockchain, ensuring you and only you, if you are a data owner, have the final say over your data. So lastly, we bring also smart contract automation into play, mirroring the ease of Web2 experiences, but with a powerful twist. So we use account abstraction here that hides the complexity, so you can focus solely on the value creation. So in summary, and we are keep on stressing this, we don't store or access your data. It's a platform you can trust, and it's designed for Web3 revolution. Okay. Why Mercedes-Benz is this is a strategic product of Mercedes-Benz, and we are offering this product or as a white label data marketplace. So enterprises can come to us who wants to have a data exchange platform within their organization or who wants to do data exchanges, and they can customize this product into their branding. They can build their own business model around it, and it's flexible to connect to their existing data infrastructure. And of course, normally the data value chain now doesn't have data exchanges and monetization at their tail end. Now with this, we can complete the data value chain by having a data exchange and monetization. So there are multiple applications of this, like internal purpose or external purpose, means like internal data sharing or external data sharing, or any custom purpose building, like building a consortium within the organization or within the industry, basically. So that's what Mercedes-Benz is actually offering. And this is not only a product that we are just presenting now, and it's just a normal product. This is a multi-awarded platform. We were recognized as the best data platform and industry innovator of the year. The awards are both in Asia and global, and we are also featured in leading publications like Bloomberg and AI Magazine. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Darwin. Sorry to interrupt. I'm getting mindful about the time here. So thank you very much.
Anyway, that's the presentation. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you very much. And Hedera, guys, are you ready to take over?
Yep. We'll try and be a bit quick about it. You guys can see the screen okay?
Yes.
Okay. So just wanted to give a quick introduction to Hedera and then talk about how Hedera enables data sharing and monetization on Web3. So for those who don't know, Hedera is a third generation public DLT, where Bitcoin was the first and really was about a store of value. Ethereum was about smart contract and programmability. Hedera is programmability, but at scale. And what makes us different from the other kind of ledgers is that we are for better or worse, enterprise grade. And what I mean by that is we are one of the most performant, and we can handle many thousand transactions per second. One of the things that makes us unique is that our price fees are actually pegged to the US dollars. And so whereas other networks, it depends on congestion. If it's busier, you might have to pay a little bit more gas to get in front of the line for your transaction to get processed. Ours is always pegged to a US dollar, with the average price being 1/100th or 1/1000th of a US dollar or US cent, depending on the transaction. And so I kind of covered the first three here in terms of the enterprise grade benefits for Hedera. I also want to just highlight the governance and sustainability angles in terms of what makes Hedera unique. Hedera is actually the greenest blockchain with the lowest amount of lowest carbon footprint. And in terms of governance, Hedera is governed by Fortune 500 companies, currently 32 of them around the world, both spread out geographically as well as across different industries. And so the council and these companies here, they're responsible for providing governance over the treasury, over network decisions, running network nodes, and really kind of figuring out how to deploy treasury to grow the ecosystem to the best of our ability. So now that I've covered kind of who Hedera is, I'll go into a little bit about how the infrastructure on Hedera enables data monetization and sharing. And so what you see on this screen are the primary services that are offered and enabled by Hedera. I'll start off with the Hedera consensus service right over here. And you can think of this as essentially a tamper-proof log for every data or transaction or interaction. And so this really is proof that any data that moves on-chain is unaltered and it's secure. And this is what provides a trust layer between data providers and consumers. And so, for instance, if you're a healthcare provider and you want to provide information to researchers, you can be sure that that information has never been tampered with and never and that it's who the healthcare says it belongs to. We also have the token service, which we call HTS, and this really is what enables the access and the monetization for data use cases. Specifically, I think you can think of this as a digital key, where the key represents both access and ownership of data. And this is able to be programmed so that you can control who has access to the specific data and how they access it. And when combined with the smart contract service, that's really where you're able to program and monetize the data and say, if you're a market research firm, for instance, with valuable consumer insights, you only want to enable access to that data for a very specific purpose or research, and you only want to provide that access for a very specific purpose and period of time. And so that's all pre-programmable and things you can include into a smart contract while leveraging the other benefits of the consensus for the trust and security that the governance and Hedera's council brings. And then we have, again, the various components that organizations can pick and choose from. They can leverage the token service, they can leverage the smart contract service, and they can combine the consensus service, or they can use it all at once, right? So it's a combination of each individual function, or any unique combination of the three, while also being able to use that in between different blockchains. So let's say we have a data use case on another kind of blockchain protocol. We're still able to provide the security and the guarantee of the consensus service through what we call kind of a Hedera SDK. So because we have modular kind of services, we're able to offer them to different use cases depending on what level of kind of commitment they want to reach. And so with that, Matt, I'll kind of give it back over to you.
Thank you very much. I feel sorry about that. I'm not giving you enough time. So, but I have to let in Lars here. So Lars, I don't know if you have any things to share on the screen, or you just will?
I will only talk.
All right. Okay. The word is yours, Lars.
Thanks. So thank you all for the interesting presentation. So I just would like to bring some attention to what I think is a use case that could benefit immensely by having a well-coordinated possibility to use Web3 protocol. So the whole thing is that I'm sharing a very big European effort on materials or advanced materials for EU. The reason to do that is, of course, that we know materials is what defines our societies. So we had the Stone Age, we have the Bronze Age, now we're living in the Silicon Age. So everything is based on our materials and our abilities to manipulate materials and make products after that. But we need to change the way we do that, because otherwise we will not be able to continue to live on Earth. Earth resources are scarce and we cannot continue. We need to change. And that change needs then to change the way we make materials, the way we make products. And in order to make that, drive that change, we need to, let's say, calculate the sustainability impact on every material, every product, every service that we offer to the market. This is an extremely complicated process, of course, because just think about a value chain. Let's take a ship value chain. A ship is made by something. It goes into all different verticals today in industry, computers or to whatever, right? But how can you calculate the true value of the sustainability impact on that ship in that level? You need to know everything downside. I mean, you need to know what kind of energy was used when they made the ship, what kind of metal wires have been used, what kind of dopants have been made in the semiconductor. If we go upstream to the more consumer, you need to know how will this ship be used? I mean, will it be used in a computer that is using coal energy? It's not very sustainable. So you need to have a trusted ability to share data between users in the value chain. And the data should not be possible to change. I mean, if the data is written once and it's there and you cannot change it, then, I mean, you all remember the Dieselgate scandal of Volkswagen. That would not have happened if the data would not be possible to change by anyone, individual or company. So it's all about creating a sustainable data collection, because we don't know now how to collect data in some of these cases. So it's collection, it's data sharing, and it's data governance. And I think you have, I mean, this kind of ecosystem, but of course we need to get everyone on board. And they that we get on board are probably not interested how we do that. So they're not interested in the machine, they're interested of the outcome, right? So this is my take. I'm here to answer questions if you like, or to give you. Can I have comments from some of you about this?
Anyone? We have 2 minutes.
Where can we find out more information? Do you have something that you can
You can
share
go to,
or point us to?
you can go to the webpage called AMI, Advanced Materials Initiative 2030.com or .eu maybe. AMI 2030. There you find the initiative, and then from that you can find even more information. So this is part of the green digital transition in the EU. So it will be it's a huge thing, and everyone needs to do that, right? Every region, of course, every country. Yes, Pauline.
How could we make it more operational from here on? We would like to especially know about the nano chips, the advanced materials. We want to have a working group with my Hong Kong colleagues going forward, and mutual educate each other about the progress of our projects on the green.
Let's make a small consortia with the players who would like to be part of this, and then we can have a continued dialogue about this, right? Maybe we can do that through Hong Kong Chamber of Commerce, Mats, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I mean, Yeah,
So
I think
before you say, I just want to say thank you, all of you, and I hope we can continue this dialogue. I mean, it was just a start, so I will share some information about AMI, and Lars and I will share more information about that through email. So
perfect. Perfect. I mean, it's 10 o'clock now, and it's been a very interesting hour in regards of this aspect of Web3, monetization, digitalization, etc. And I really appreciate all the speakers, especially you, Mats, but all the other speakers, participants, and I think this is a very good 1 hour crash course in this field, and I think this is just a starting point. This is also, as I said before, this has been recorded. We publish on YouTube, so it's for people to learn more. But I think also this is a good opportunity for further discussions between us participants here. I think we can already connected with through LinkedIn, so that's one connection. But we can also have a follow-up webinar like this further down the road. So thank you so much, everyone, and I really appreciate your participation and your knowledge sharing, etc. So thank you so much.